With qualifying concluded now for the Wawa Cup Series, time to shift our focus back on over to this little sprint championship that we have going on. The TopDragster Open is back in action tonight, and we are also here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway, Southern Florida, under the lights. It is going to be a fantastic show at a track that is quite well known for producing some exciting, thrilling racing, and I think that tonight is going to be no different. It is race number 2 out of 3, and with Michael Lewis winning the first race at Daytona, can he build on that point lead, or will we see someone else emerge to the forefront? We're going to find out all here tonight, here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, for race number 2 of the Top Dragster Open. And hello to everyone once again. Welcome back to the Top Dragster Open, race number 2 of 3, this little mini championship to see who is the best on the channel for AG, the channel, of course. And tonight it is Homestead-Miami, a very competitive mile-and-a-half paperclip shaped track that always produces some phenomenal racing. And I am very, very excited for this one. We got 44 laps on tap, so a reasonably short race, but still long enough that we will be having pit stops with about a 30-ish to 32 lap fuel window. 40 drivers ready to do battle here, and we had Caleb in the booth for Daytona, which was an absolute blast. But next team owner on the co-commentator docket here, I've got Team NS owner himself, Nathan Stapleton, aka NS Racing 97.
Thanks for having me, Andrew. It's going to be a ton of fun here tonight. Homestead, one of the, if not the best mile-and-a-halves on and in real life, is very, very competitive, multi-glues, a lot of different ways you can make a pass on someone, and it's going to be very interesting on what ends up happening of this ultra-competitive mile-and-a-half, and for race 2 of the season. It's going to be a fun one underneath the lights at Homestead.
Yeah, we're going night racing here, which just going to make it even more awesome. Of course, we're using the AG version, the version that everyone's used to. It always absolutely it brings the fire and really, really puts on some great racing. So it was a no-brainer to get this thing going. Like I said, 44 laps is going to produce a fantastic race here. Of course, the point standings coming into this one are just the same as the Daytona results. Michael Lewis having won the first race in the 38 for Team TD, Top Dragster. I swear I did not break that, but actually it is Team CR leading by 10 points over Team TD. So Caleb Rose's team right now is on top, of course, followed by Team TD, and then NS Racing and Team AG got some ground to make up as a good ways back in the standings. So we'll see what they'll be able to do to try to make up that ground. Right now, it looks like we do have one of AG's drivers on the pole position for this one. That is Leonard Kochmer in the 29, but we'll go over that starting lineup here, at least for the top 10, in just a moment. But just had to say once again a thank you to AG and everyone who signed up for this, and also Nathan and Caleb for jumping on board here as well. It's a pretty darn cool deal, and hey, we're already going to be 2/3 of the way through this little mini championship after tonight. We will be bringing the finale to crown who is the best of the best in this little 3-race deal at Atlanta in April. So looking forward to that one. But for now, though, this is going to be a great, great race. Testing has proven to be fantastic. Little to no cautions and some fantastic racing, and you can definitely work your way forward. But passing can be a little bit tricky just because of how multi-groove it is, so completing a pass may be a little bit easier said than done. A very momentum-based racetrack that you're going to want to try to get the most that you can out of the corners. And if you're able to do that, then you're going to be able to pull away, especially if you got some racing going on behind you. Enough of me rambling on, though. Like I said, we've got the top 10 starters ready to go here. Leonard Kochmer in the 29, followed by Team Caleb's Brennan Wilmington in the 16. And then Nathan, your top starting driver tonight is Henry Brown, followed by Igor Barreto, also for Team AG in the 12. Top dragster driver is Anthony Hernandez in the 25, starting in P number 5. And then number 20, Rogo Dorn, that is Caleb's driver. Blaine Keys, of course, driving for AG, the top dog himself. And then the 19, Aaron Abel, that is, of course, Nathan's driver. And then row 5 is all top dragster, that is Luna Lona and Bryce Egan, 9 and 45. Well, enough of me rambling on here. We got some great racing coming up for you guys. So let's go ahead and get these guys rolling. As we've got everything up now, these guys are going to be rolling off. Of course, hope that the frame rate survives, as that was a little iffy at Daytona, so we'll see what happens tonight. But Nathan, I'll go ahead and ask you, and in traditional fashion, we got to know who's your pick to win this bad boy.
Well, I'm hoping I'm not jinxing this driver, but I'm gonna go with one of my own. I'm gonna go with Aaron Abel in the number 19 here tonight.
Number 19. That's a good choice there. Aaron Abel, a lot of experience. And looking to get it done here for Team NS. Pace car is in, 44 laps underway here at Homestead, and the second race of 3 for the top dragster open. Off of turn number 4, and Henry Brown going to take advantage there and lead the first lap. That inside lane is definitely going to be where you want to be as far as making up ground. But as this run goes on, we will see them start to get a little more strung out. But so far, that top 2 is not where you wanted to start, apparently. Both Kochmer and Wilmington dropping back in the 29 and 16, respectively. That has allowed Anthony Hernandez to get up to second place. And don't look now, but how about Blaine Keys coming up to the front here already? That's not much of a surprise.
Definitely not in the year of 2025. We might as well call it the Blaine Keys year because he's been so strong this season on AG the channel. But forgot to mention, there might be a slight chance of the Homestead stripe here in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We might have to watch out for that all night long. Top 3 breaking away from the field of Henry Brown, Hernandez, and the number 9 all up to the front. Luna Lona, the 18 of Blaine Keys, top 4. And how about the 22, Alexander Rowe? Won a couple of sprint series races earlier on in the season, and it is in the thick of the championship battle. But meanwhile, side by side for the race lead up front, Hernandez side by side, couldn't quite get the pass made, and Henry Brown is still on top.
Henry Brown looking good in the UPS number 88 at the moment. And yeah, as you said, the top 4 have gotten away. That's that momentum that I mentioned. When they go side by side like that, the amount of momentum that you lose is immense, and that can allow anyone to close in. But also at the same time, it can produce some pullaways like this, and that is exactly what these guys are doing. Checking further back here, it is a hornet's nest in the middle of the field, as is to be expected. Boy, that is that was not a good outside pull there for Brendan Wilmington. Barely holding on to a top 20 now in that number 16. I know that's making him a little bit nervous, and yeah, he's still struggling to hold on to track position there. 20, Rogal Dorn is also slipping, and barely, yeah, he's going to fall well out of the top 10 there. Going to get passed by, potentially passed by first race winner Michael Lewis there in the 38. Of course, if you're unsure of who's driving for who, you'll see in the ticker above, you'll see a letter just before everybody's name, and that would pertain to either, of course, Team Nathan, Team Caleb, Team Alex, and of course Team Top Dragster. So if anyone needs some clarification, you can certainly keep an eye on that. But here we go again. Battle for the race lead here. Can Anthony Hernandez try to keep that nose down there? If so, then we may have a good side-by-side battle here. That outside lane can definitely maintain a lot of momentum. So we'll see what Henry Brown's going to be able to do with it. Although it looks like 25 is going to get the advantage of just a little bit of a draft help there from the 9.
New leader Bailey is going to be Hernandez before how long? Luna to the inside, 3 wide. And watch out now, here comes Blank Keys from number 18. And I believe that's the number 12 behind Blank Keys of Equal Boretto. A good long time name on AG the channel. Look at that move through the middle. Gonna take the,
Whoa!
oh my goodness, 4 wide.
Almost 4 wide.
That was close right there. When we said
Oof.
multiple racing, we meant it.
Henry Brown with the bold move up the middle there to try to maintain track position. And ooh, the 12 could have forced the issue there, but thankfully didn't. That could have been sketchy. This track is nice and wide, but I don't think 4 wide at any track is going to work too well. But how about Mauricio Vabelis coming up here in the 66? First time we really mentioned that name very much in either of these races. Is I think we saw way at the back there. I think that stripe that you were talking about, I believe that was the 42 of Bernardo de Oliveira that may have just gone into the wall. And just kind of looking on back here and everyone else, they're all still racing pretty hard, but so far so good, keeping it fairly clean. There's another driver I wouldn't be surprised to see up at the front at some point is the 0 of Nicholas Samadio. He's kind of mired mid-pack right now. Again, another driver that really didn't make much noise at Daytona is, wait, there's more 3 wide.
Oh,
So Rutkowski getting a little close there to the 22. And going even further down is Leonard Kochmer, desperate to make up some track position that he lost on the initial run there. But back up at the front, boy, that 88 is looking strong. He's going to take the race lead away from Luna Lona.
that 88 is looking very, very strong in that UPS Ford. But that 9 of Luna Lona is looking very strong on the outside lane. Always seeing it once in this one, where that 9 seems to have a high side car and trying to maintain with the race lead Lona and Brown. But it looks like it's going to be Brown leading this lap, barely over Luna Lona. If he's still not careful, Blanky's might get a huge one. Side by side, the 88 slip the racetrack. Here comes Hernandez inside 18 from help from the number 12 of Boretto. And with the top 5 battling the way they are, that's going to allow the 66 and everyone behind the 66 to close on in. And one thing I'm noticing is that the older these tires get, the more multi-group racing things turn out to be.
Yeah, absolutely. The inside lane, you lose some momentum on those older tires. Like I said, we will have a pit stop in this race. We're probably about halfway to that point. But I do expect a lot of 2-tire stops. That seems to have been the trend from what we were seeing. Barretto getting way down the inside there once again, being very, very bold. But Henry Brown still holding on to it. Anthony Hernandez going to get back up to second. But everybody's now closing back in after all that battling that they were just doing. Febulist is up here. There's Alexander Rowe, very competitive driver, of course, as you were saying, Nathan. Joe Rutkowski up here in the top 10 here, number 5. And another driver that has joined this fray here, and that is Logan Williams in the 2. That was a driver that was making some pretty good noise at Daytona, so couldn't have a strong card here as well. But now, as they are doing battle for second on back, Henry Brown pulling away by a few car lengths.
Not surprised whatsoever to see Logan Williams up towards the front. Of course, in the Rain series, whether it be on my channel or here on AG the channel with the Wawa Cup series, he knows what he's doing. Oh, that was a little bit tight though
Oh,
with Rutkowski and Logan Williams. Those two competed for the Trivial Cup Series title last year to the top 3 in the point standings. And a couple of laps ago, the top 10 probably breaking away, but it was a hornet's nest in about 15th to 20th. And I mean, interesting how things would shake out the 88. The actual teammate to the 88 to 38 of Michael Lewis is now making his way up to the front. And here comes Spoleto, kind of diamond the corner, one high on entry, one low on exit, and he's going to go side by side with Fernandez for second.
Gonna try to complete that move, but great run there on the outside for Hernandez. He's gonna be able to hold on to that. That may open the door for Blank. He's trying to make that move there. But they definitely got to set it up for that pit stop. There is definitely an advantage to having fresher tires. It's not significant, but there's definitely a few tenths to gain as we're just kind of checking through the field at the moment. And Bryce Egan, also another driver that really fell off after the initial start. Still 3 wide in here with Stuart Gratton's in there. There's Daisy Johnson in the H, Eric Monaco in the 48, and Ludovic Charette in the 01, the reigning Cup Series champ. Right now mired in the mid pack in that 01 machine, of course, driving for AG's team. Again, AG's team got some points to make up here tonight if they're going to have a good chance at the overall championship. Of course, the Drivers' Championship, I mean, we're only one race in, so of course Michael Lewis would have that. But coming out of tonight will be interesting to see where everybody turns out to be. But where everyone's going to turn out to be, at least tonight, is going to be very, very indicative based on the pit window, when everybody pits, and we have seen some trouble in some testing races where there was some pit road calamity. Of course, they will be pitting off at turn 4, but they will need to use the access road through 1 and 2 on exit of the pits. So that could definitely shake it up a little bit here. Speaking of shaking it up, we'll get some spectator cam here. You don't see this too often, but definitely gives you a great idea of some of the runs that these guys get as Hernandez using the draft to his advantage once again and trying to close in on the 88.
Fernandez trying to get a 1. For me, I hope he doesn't, because I want that 88 to stay out front, but it's going to be seeing what ends up happening with that pit road. Like you said, it can be a little bit tricky to get onto pit road here, and it can be a little bit sketchy on exit, but side by side for the race lead just past halfway, and we'll see how everything shakes out, because we've seen the great racing so
Oof.
far, but once again, the outside lane seems to be the way to go on over the tires, and that could really matter after the pit stops if these guys take 2 tires. Look at Luna Lola making 3 wide for second out of nowhere.
You saw that run that they all got there going down the back straightaway, but going through 3 and 4, the advantage is going to go to Pareto, and he's going to easily clear for second place. And now he's going to have a chance to try to run down this 88, who has been dominating so far. 20 laps to go. We'll keep it to the spectator cam here for just a little bit longer. This is a great spectator cam here. Of course, once again, TopDragster, we brought our own cameras to this race. We did the same with Daytona, kind of shaking it up a little bit here again, as the field is very spread out, and that's what I mean. Once you get single file, and everyone's speed really starts to manifest as momentum shifts, and everyone's able to just kind of find their own groove. Although Blaine Keys now going to try to make the move underneath of Michael Lewis. Great run here, possibly on Vebelis. That would be for 6th. Not quite going to be able to get that there. I think these guys are going to be hoping to get those right side tires off of these things and try to get some new ones on there. And then that will really, really shake things up. As here goes Barretto for the race lead. And a little better through that corner that time, so we may have a good side-by-side battle this time around.
Side by side, Barreto and Brown. Unfortunately for me, I think the only NS driver up front is Henry Brown, and then there's a lot of Team AG and a lot of Caleb's drivers up front right now, and we'll see if that changes
Whoa.
during pit stops, tight quarters, and how about that? Since not really mentioned that driver yet all night, been quietly running in the 6th to 8th position, but seems to have a good call on the long one. Number 2, that was a little bit close. And it's gonna be interesting of what ends up happening if these guys do take 2 tires like you mentioned, or if they decide to switch it up here. But it's gonna be fairly exciting as we are gonna go through wide with playing Keys and Logan Williams, Luna Low to the inside. And honestly, it looks like it's about the top 10, top 12 that seem to be the best colors here tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. And we see him kind of closing in again. There's a driver that's moving forward here. Is Campbell Marsh in the 78, another AG driver. And as you said, a lot of AG cars are coming to the front here. So that is exactly what they need if they're going to maintain any good chance at the team championship heading into Atlanta. But we're on lap 30 now, so we've got to be getting close. As Henry Brown's going to try to make that move once again to take the lead again. And actually,
Oh,
nope,
here
he's
we
going to come down
go.
pit road, as is Barretto. Here we go, game on now. What else we got there? Charette's coming in. I see Eric Monaco back there, and then some other drivers further back, including Aaron Lukes. That's Chase McClure in the 77. Will Parrish is in there. It's Marcus Glitch in the 49. Bernardo Oliveira, Roberto Crown Jr. So now the question is going to be, do you want to pit early or late? Ooh, this is going to get sketchy there. 66 into the 20.
Hey,
Still making contact.
20 not happy with the 66 after that. About did what you did one time here at Homestead in the Trivial Cup Series. That's all I'm gonna say. But this pit road very sketchy, and that is why all these drivers wanted to go down at basically the exact same time. And I don't know what the outcome's gonna really be. I kind of like the undercut because we saw that was a very busy pit road the second time around, and even the third time with some of these other guys going down pit road now. But yeah, I really like that undercut that some of those drivers did. Had a
we're,
clean pit road, and we'll see how everything cycles out here.
we're going to see how it all comes forward here as the 88 getting going. And the 88 was one of the first to pit. And let's see where everyone else kind of came out in that cycle. There's Igor Barretto. I believe that will give him the race lead here shortly once everyone cycles out. There's Logan Williams, who led that final pack down. And yeah, they're going to get by him pretty easily here. So give the advantage to Igor Barretto as it stands, I believe. We'll confirm that once they fully cycle around here. Indeed, it looks like that will be the case. Yes, P1 for the 12 with 11 laps to go. So now it's Luna Lona that's going to try to chase him down all by themselves right there. And then Michael Lewis in third. Really great gain on that pit stop there. So looking really good to get a great point lead heading into Atlanta for the driver's end. Going first and potentially top 3 if things continue this way with 10 laps to go. Anthony Hernandez, though, in fourth. Logan Williams being the latest to pitch. Actually, that worked out for him. He is fifth, just ahead of Joe Rutkowski. Ledovic Charette up into the top 10. How about that for the 01? Campbell Marsh, Henry Brown back to ninth after dominating for the most part. And how about Eric Monaco up here into the top 10 as well? So, varying strategies seem to have worked for different drivers. As there goes Rutkowski for fifth place. Everyone else, though, trying to chase down that 12. Was that 4 wide I just saw back there for a moment? Hopefully not. Looks like they settled it down at least.
I believe it was full wide for a brief second between all four of these drivers, the 29, 66, 11, and I believe that's the 77.
Indeed.
It is, and it's gonna be interesting on how everything plays out because I like that strategy. Now that everything has cycled, I do like of how a lot of draws are up front now either did the undercut or the overcut because that pit road on the second lap when majority of the field pitted was very sketchy, and we saw what happened there with the 20 and the 66, but unfortunately not a lot of NS drives up towards the front. That's just how it is sometimes, I guess, but it's not over for this race win. 2 Dodgers, 1-2. Luna Lona closing in, and I think this 9 might be faster on 2 tires. A shout out to Michael Lewis, though, in number 38 is impressive in an equal lanes sprint championship to win that Daytona, and now, as of now, in position of getting a top 3 and quite possibly have a massively going into Atlanta next time out.
Yeah, looking very good is that 38. As yeah, Luna is definitely close. The draft definitely plays a part in this race and at this track. So that is another thing with the momentum. And you break that air, and the 12 was breaking the air for the 9. That's what allowed Luna to close on up here. And now 9 versus 12 for the race lead. But will that open the door for Lewis and Hernandez? We'll find out here with 5 laps to go here at Homestead-Miami. It's going to come down to these top 4 regardless. Verado able to stay ahead for now. But we'll see if that will continue to hold. Logan Williams still running 5th, but Lodovic Charette looking incredibly fast now that they've gotten up into the top 10, potentially top 5. Checking on back here, Rogel Dorn had some kind of a problem on pit road there and is now last, as did Blaine Keys after talking about him
Oh,
and hyping him up. Now way back in 38th.
that's all you gotta do. Talk about someone, hype them up always, and then have a pit road mistake. That's very, very unfortunate. And what else is unfortunate is seeing a lot of my guys outside the top 20 and also me jinxing and able here tonight.
Yeah, equal rating series, anything can really happen with that. And boy, they're still racing pretty hard back
Oh,
here. We're just kind of checking in on that here real quick. There's Henry Brown in that, along with Rutkowski, along with Aaron Lukes is there. There's Alexander Rowe, Daisy Johnson in the 8. A few guys starting to pull away from that. We're going to check back up front here, though, for this race win, as we are coming to 2 laps to go this time by side once again. Barreto was able to make the outside lane work the last time. He's going to have to do it again through 1 and 2. Michael Lewis inching closer, as is Hernandez. Ooh, that's a good run there for the 12. Should get clear, but look at this run for the 38.
this is not over. It's going to be a fatal four-way here at Homestead-Miami Speedway between the 12, the 9, the 30, and the
Rewind.
25. Watch out for the 25. Watch out for the 25. We might go 4 wide for the race lead coming to the white flag.
We'll see if that may happen. 38 looked like he was trying to block him, but it's white flag and 3 wide for the race lead. It's going to come down to these corners and who's going to have the most momentum.
4 wide.
4 wide almost. No way. Nearly door slamming 38 and 9. Down the back straightaway, 4 deep for the race win here. Lewis, can he make it 2 in a row? Luna looking to try to get the run on the outside. It's going to be a photo finish to the stripe. Michael Lewis, I don't know.
You got to be kidding me. Homestead-Miami Speedway. That's all I gotta say.
I'm
Wow.
going to hit the spacebar here and I'm going to find out who it is. Because I don't know from that shot. I thought it was Lewis, but I don't know for sure. Let's find out. He got it. And is getting turned into the wall. Oh no.
No, Luna Lola. It was a clean finish, but I guess not happy about losing by a whisker. Oh my goodness. Well, he won 2 in a row, but the car's destroyed now.
The car is now destroyed. Man, I would not have predicted that in this little sprint championship that we would have a driver go 2 for 2. And how about that? It's Michael Lewis. And hey, those two are teammates when you get right down to it. They're both on my team.
Time for you to sell that one. And the team mean.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a word about that one. Oh my goodness. But man, what a finish. We nearly went 4 wide there for that race win. That was crazy. Let's take a look at what the official margin is here. And at the stripe, 6 thousandths of a second for the race win between those two, and it is a Top Dragster 1, 2, 3. I swear that it was not planned, but I'll take it. I will take that battle for the win, regardless of who was up there. Holy cow, is that some phenomenal racing there at the end? Michael Lewis able to just get ahead of Luna at the stripe. Probably a little bit of a draft from the 25 is what made the difference there. But man, what a great race between all four of those drivers. Logan Williams will emerge fifth with Ludovic Charette, Eric Monaco, Campbell Marsh. Nathan, your top finishing driver is going to be Henry Brown. And yeah, he was the strongest for sure. But yeah, not going to lie, that's not the best showing for NS Racing. But hey, you got some fast drivers in there. So Atlanta could prove that anything can happen. But holy crap, man, that was awesome.
When I said on the top of the show that we would see multi-crew racing, I did not think it would come down to 4 drivers going 4 wide. I'm not surprised that it was Hernandez that went 4 wide, knowing of some of the stuff he's done in Joe's series, and he made 4 wide, 4 race lead off of turn number 2. 4 cars finished less than 2.5 tenths of each other.
Yeah,
on a mile and a half.
Yeah,
that's Homestead.
2 tenths. Yeah.
Welcome to Homestead. Fantastic racing. Very unfortunate for my drivers, though. Didn't really show any speed besides Henry Brown and Hus in the team championship. But how about Mike Lewis in the Equal Lanes Flint Championship? Goes 2 in a row. Probably gonna have the point lead, and probably is gonna have a very good shot at winning the Drivers' Championship in this 3-race sprint. If he wins at Atlanta and does the triple, then that would be unheard of in a 3-race championship. But that was almost unheard of. 4 wide on the last lap for the win on a mile and a half. It does not get much better than that. Fantastic stuff here at Homestead. And what a race for the Top Dragster Open.
What a race indeed. And Nathan, thank you so much for being a part of it with me. That was absolutely fantastic. I was watching Michael Lewis just thinking like, man, he's going to get a great finish here regardless. And if nothing happens to him, he's going to be in with a phenomenal point lead. But now he's gone 2 for 2. And everybody else has been really mixed up here. So I think that Michael Lewis is going to have a catastrophe at Atlanta to lose this championship. Of course, now I've just said that, so it's very likely to happen. That is how commentator jinx works. But I'm not wishing any misfortune on him at all. If anything, I'm just hoping for a great race come Atlanta. Of course, AG will be in the booth with me for that one. We're getting all the different team owners in the booth. We had Caleb for Daytona. Daytona was an incredible race, absolutely incredible. Of course, this one, though, I think may have just blown Daytona out of the water. Daytona is a super speedway, so you're kind of bound to have a close race like that. But this is Homestead. How on earth did you get a finish like that at a track like this? This track cooks, as you say. I feel like I feel so like, how do you do, fellow kids, whenever I say that. But that race did, like, legit. That was phenomenal. And we're going to be hyping that one up for a while. 0.006 of a second, so it is pretty darn. I'm almost certain that this race will make the top closest finishes of 2025 come the end of the year.
100%. That is going to be in the top 25. So congratulations, Sam. You'll probably have one of the races on HQ the channel in the top 25 at the end of the year.
I ain't going to complain about that. I mean, heck, even one of the races that I called last year with Eddie, what made it in there, but now this is like a race that I'm putting on, and now it's going to be in there. So, oh man, I'm going to be hyping this one up for a while. And thank you again, Nathan, for being a part of this with me. We'll show everyone the full finishing results there one more time. Another caution-free race. That is 2 for 2 on caution-free races. 2 for 2 for Michael Lewis. That is win number 3 on the channel, from what I understand. So, and 2 of those wins are in this. So fancy that. But thank you to everyone again who has been a part of this. We will show everybody the final or the full drivers and owners standings heading into the final race at Atlanta. That again will be in April. Definitely tune in for that. And of course, thank you again to AG for allowing me to put this on. Nathan, thank you again. Go check out NS Racing 97 if you don't already, although you're a part of this channel, so of course you already know that. But if you're not, go check him out. He's awesome. And of course, I'm TopDragster, Andrew Miller. You may refer to me as either or. You can subscribe to the TopDragster channel if you want. That's up to you. I mostly do online stuff though. So if that's your thing, check it out. We'll see everybody in Atlanta. Congrats to Michael Lewis on the double here in the TopDragster Open so far. Can he make it a trifecta? We'll see if he can get the Triple Crown. We'll call him Triple Crown Lewis if he gets it. How about that one? Anyways, I rambled enough, but you're gonna ramble after a race like that. Thanking everyone again. And on that note, though, we will see you guys later. Take care, and bye for now.